Hey everyone, Benny's Garage here. I'm in the middle of cleaning out my shed. Doing that, I decided to change around how my sockets are organized. I originally had these trays from Harbor Freight. There's nothing particularly wrong with them. I just don't like the fact that they are all on one tray. When you load this up with sockets, it gets super heavy and it is very irritating and annoying to throw in and out of the box when you take it out. Here's what I came up with. So looking at how these trays are designed, they're just riveted in the back to this plate, which means you could take that rail right off just by grinding out the rivets. So what I came up with was this design. Here's one of them as an example. Took the rail, I cut it down to size after lining up all the sockets. Drilled it into a piece of wood. My screws were a little bit longer, so I chopped them at the back. Painted it, so this is metric. My other side is standard. These are just Harbor Freight sockets. Another way that you could do is like this, using the original packaging as a socket tray, or socket rail, I should say. You pretty much cut the ends off right where it meets the little elbow, drill a hole in there, put a zip tie on both sides. There's little nubbies that are on the actual socket holder, I guess, and that's for when it's inside the store. It's a lot harder to take off, so nobody can steal the sockets from the store. But since you now own them, you could take a box razor or just any sort of sharp knife and just cut down the nubbies just a little bit to the point where the socket, slips on pretty nicely with minimal effort. So that's two ways to do that. This way, I don't have another one of these, so I can't show you exactly how to do it, but it seems very self-explanatory. Like I said, you just cut off the ends right where it bends. Then you drill 2 holes on both sides and you put a zip tie, so then that way they can't slide off. Put all your sockets on and then you can number it like I did, just to make things a little bit easier. I'm in the process of making a couple. I have 2 of these trays, so I just finished the one tray, all those rails. So this is my last tray with the rails. So like I said, these are all my trays. The deep sockets are done. I'm working on my shallows. So I have 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch, and then I have the same thing for my shallow sockets. So that's what I'm working on currently. So I'm gonna try my best to get everything on camera the best I can. Pretty much just start by taking your all your clips out of the trays, and might as well, while you're at it, pull the rest of the sockets and specialty like Torx bits and all that stuff off of the tray, just to make your life a little bit easier. Now you're just gonna look at the back, find your rivets. You're just gonna grind those. You can drill them if you want to make everything look nice, but just grinding them is a little bit easier in my opinion. Now that you got your rivets ground down on the back, the rail should just snap off just like that. If you're lucky, they'll come out. If not, just tap it out with a punch. Now that you have the tray, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to line up your sockets. Pretty much that's how it's going to look. Just when you do this, just make sure they're nice in line like that and like that. What you want to do from there, just take your Sharpie, just make a little guide. Once you make that guide, just cut it off. Make a nice little chop. Save this for later. You want to keep that. I have another one that is pretty much the same exact size. You never know what you're going to need, and since you're working on limited rails, keep these. You can use them for something else. Then my next step is you take a piece of wood, figure out what size that you want. This one actually measures in 1 3/4 or about 3/4 of an inch thick, which is just plenty for what we are doing. Line it up edge to edge. You want to line up your rail edge to edge. Take your Sharpie again, make a little mark. Your skill saw or whatever you're using to chop the wood with. You're ended up with a block like this. Then you can lay your rail on top, grab some screws, and just screw the thing in. And there's your rail. Now, if you're like me and you have screws a little bit longer, you're just going to take your angle grinder and chop those off. And once those are cut off, what I like to do next, and the last step of getting this thing prepped for the little clips to go on, I like to take a little punch and a mallet. I'm just using whatever I have around. I just like to tap those edges down, so that way the clips can't slide off. If you're holding the rail like this and you shake, they won't slide off. Do that on both sides. So on and so forth. And then since this is for 3/8, you'll find your 3/8 clips, which are around somewhere in this pile. And then this is the slow, sucky part. You slide them back on one by one. Boom, and there you go. Slap your sockets on. There you have it. Nice socket rail. Stands up. Don't gotta worry about it tipping over in a box. Quick and easy to make, and now you have something a little bit more small and compact instead of this giant tray. Because this thing weighs a lot, especially when you have all your sockets on there. Here's one of my 3/8 metric rails. So I'm gonna just spray this thing up. We'll let that thing sit and dry. Here's the tray that I just painted. Now it's all set up with the 1/2" sockets on it. I'm gonna go through, just label everything, and then we'll throw it in the box. And there you go. There's everything labeled. We'll just go throw it in the box. So here's the whole box complete. I'm filming this video the next day after I finished everything else up in my shed, cleaning everything out. On this side of our box is all our standard sockets. So we go 1/4", 3/8", 1/2". These are all shallow sockets, and we have the same for our deep sockets, 1/4", 3/8", and 1/2". Here is the other side, 1/4" in metric, 3/8", 1/2" metric, 1/4", 3/8", 1/2" metric. This is just the rest of the box. With some extra rails that I had, I made a torque set, and I just put a spark plug socket on the end of it, just so it's there, so it's not hanging around the box missing. And then same for up here. These are all longer Allen keys. I got metric and standard on both sides. Just another extra rail that I had. Just decided to throw them all on there. And then I did the same little thing for my extensions. Just keep everything straight. Nothing's really wiggling around in the box now. And it's far more organized than what it was before. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, maybe subscribe. That would help my channel out a lot. If this is stuff that you want to see more, easy little tricks, save you money. If you already had those trays, then this was pretty much free. That's what I appreciated about it, is because I didn't have to go out and spend money on organizers, because they get expensive, especially when you want things individual and not pairing things together. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.